Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for joining for the watch-along. Brighton versus Manchester United. Smash a like on your entry, turn on the notifications. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe below. This should be an interesting watch. This should be a very interesting watch, guys. What are you guys saying? Let me know what's going on. If you're just entering the chat, let me know what's happening. Like I said, smash the like, people. There's a few bits to discuss, few bits to talk about before the game starts. Let's have a look at the lineup today. So let's look at the lineup that's facing Brighton from a Man United perspective right now. Onana. Well, do you know what? It's the same lineup as before. We're starting the same team that we started in the last game, but let's go through it anyway, as we do. Onana in goal, obviously. Matsurawi keeps his spot in defense. We got Maguire, we got Martinez, and I'm pretty sure Ligt will probably phase Maguire out the team, but for now we got Maguire starting, we got Martinez, we got Mount, Fernandez, and that is something that we need to discuss as well. Mount and Bruno Fernandes playing together, in my opinion, should never be a thing. It's blasphemous. It's literally blasphemous. And I don't understand why this manager keeps persevering with Brown and Bruno together. So we can talk about that. So Mount and Bruno. You might as well call them Brown, Mount and Bruno. We got CASEMIRO playing. We got Kobe Mino playing. We got Rashford, Garnacho, and yeah, obviously Dallo at right back. So sorry, left back. So it's essentially the same team, like I said, that faced Fulham. In my opinion, it's not the team that I want to see. The football that we played, while I think we're going in the right direction, it's still not the football that I want to see Man United play. But this game, just like the previous game, is now shrouded in conversation, in talk once again about Jadon Sancho. So let's have a quick talk about Jadon, because at the end of the day, Jadon is not even in the match day squad. Now, I don't know what people think about Jadon Sancho, and I see a lot of people talk on Twitter, you know, and Twitter is a cesspool. It's literally a cesspool of the most stupidest, extreme views in general. But for 2 seasons in a row, let's keep it a buck here. For 2 seasons in a row, Jadon Sancho has been the best player, or arguably one of the best players in preseason. AMAD was good in this preseason, and Jadon was decent in this preseason as well. And the last preseason, once again, he was good. He played false 9 just like he did this preseason, and he had a good preseason. And most people can at least agree that he's, whether you can't agree if he's better than Rashford or Garnacho, I think most people can agree that he's better than Antony. What is the issue with Sancho? I don't understand. I see him train with everybody else. Apparently everything is okay. The manager keeps coming out saying everything is fine, but yet Jadon Sancho, who reached a Champions League final, in my opinion, the best technical, I use the word technical, the best technical winger we have at the club, and yet he can't get into the squad. Now my problem is this: if you don't see him, in your plans, because this is my issue. He plays all preseason. He plays well. He plays often better than Antony, and he's played better than Antony and Rashford this preseason. Yet Rashford starts, and he's come out with a quote today. The manager, I believe, something along the lines of, "There's a lot of decisions to be made, a lot of choices, He just didn't make the squad on this occasion. He has to fight for his place. And I'm there thinking, hold on a second. How come Rashford doesn't need to fight for his place? How come Rashford, regardless of how good or bad he plays, starts every game? How comes Mount and Bruno, no matter how shit they play, start every game? How come Garnacho last season, and Garnacho has some bad games and he started every game? How come Hojlund can go 16 games? Apparently Hojlund went 16 games without scoring and kept starting and kept starting and starting and starting. So whether you like Sancho or not, the rationale that's given by this manager, not just the rationale given to not start him, but he's not even an option to change the game. He's not even an option off the bench. He's not even in the squad. So for the manager to show someone as good as Sancho, who in my opinion, why does he not just get into the first team and start in the first team? And then why doesn't Rashford and other wingers need to listen? At the end of the day, this is it, yeah. A wise man told me this. And this is how it is when you got a bias or when you don't like somebody. The people that you like have to pay their rent. Don't have to pay their rent. If you like somebody, they can go a month, 2 months without scoring, without a good performance. They don't need to put on a good performance every game. You watch them play rubbish, and maybe once a month they might do something well, and that will justify them starting. Whereas someone like Sancho and AMAD, they can't afford to have a bad game. They need to pay their rent every day. So if Sancho plays or AMAD plays and they don't score, they're getting taken out of the team. Whereas we will play Rashford for 10 games straight, he doesn't score, and Sancho will be sitting on the bench saying, how comes I can't start? The same thing happened to AMAD. Anybody who is saying that, this is not, there's no equivalence here or whatever it might be, listen, he did the same thing to AMAD. AMAD was playing well. When AMAD had his chances, AMAD played well. And even though AMAD was playing well and apparently training well, he was only given substitute appearances, 10 minutes or 20 minutes here or there for the last 4 or 5 games. He never really started the game, AMAD. And you have to ask the question, why? Why? He was playing well and he wasn't starting the game. Listen, if this manager does not like somebody, clearly, he just doesn't like you. If he doesn't like you, he doesn't like you. And I'm at the stage where I think the manager must come out and say, listen, if Jadon Sancho is not the type of winger, because I can understand if Jadon isn't the type of winger that this manager likes, right? Just come out and say he's not in my plans. Just be honest. Just come out and say Jadon's not in my plans, no matter what he does, no matter how hard he trains, no matter how many goals he scores in training, whatever, I'm not going to include him in the squad. Just do that, because at this point, I don't understand why people can't see that it's now abuse. Imagine you doing all you can to get into the team, and you getting told by the manager that to get into the team you need to work hard in training, or to get into the team you need to do this, you need to do that, and you're ticking all the boxes, and you're thinking, hold on a second, this team is shit. This team finished 8th, and I'm doing all the things you're telling me to do to get into the team, and you're not, and I'm still not even getting. I'm not even getting into the squad. I'm not even sitting on the bench. At what point is it manipulation? At what point is it abuse? Like, because let me tell you something, it's only a matter of time before Garnacho takes AMAD's spot. And he goes back to the same wingers. This guy goes back to playing the same team and the same, technically the same wingers that brought us 8th place last season. He saw the season that we saw last season, right? And the shit football that we played and the wingers that we played last season. And he's going to just go back to playing Rashford and Garnacho, the 2 failed wingers of last season, rather than trying to give someone else a try. Like, it's crazy what we're seeing. It's crazy what we're seeing. It's like people can make excuses like, oh, Sancho's not. Listen, stop telling the guy, yeah, that he's in your plans. That's my problem, I think, with the whole thing. It's the whole Sancho's doing it, he's okay. Me and Sancho are good. He's in my plans. And then he's not even in the match day squad, and he can't get into the match day squad against ahead of Antony. Like, that's my issue. My issue is his honesty, and he's a liar. Like, he's not gonna change a team. This manager likes to rinse players and play the same team over and over again. Even though he's got a squad, he likes to play the same players and get them injured, like Ollie used to do. And I'm so annoyed actually that we can't play, that we're not playing on the front foot. Like, what has Mason Mount done for Manchester United Football Club since he's been here? What's he done? And yet he's starting this game. He's wearing the number 7 shirt. And all I'm seeing online is off the ball stats to support Mason Mount. I've never seen so many people care about off the ball stats in my life. I'm like, wow, when did we ever talk about Ronaldinho or Kaká or Messi or Ronaldo? When did we ever talk about the best players and what they did off the ball and the running they did off the ball? We never spoke about that. And we're trying to justify Mason Mount in the team. A team that's supposed to be one of the biggest football clubs, one of the greatest football clubs in the world, one of the biggest attacking teams in the world. We're talking about, oh, we need to play Mason Mount because off the ball, something off the ball. Everybody's decent off the ball. Everyone can run. Like, what Mason Mount does isn't that special. I'm tired of us trying to manipulate stats and manipulate scenarios and situations to justify mediocrity. And I'm tired of watching Man United where all the ballers, the Pogbas, the Sanchos, the Martials, the technical footballers in this club are hounded out, are thrown out, while the runners, the pace and power, the guys that don't really have the technicality but have a lot of power and have a lot of pace and can run and run and run, these are the guys that we hold up. And that's why we can never win. Because how many players that play for Man City are pace and power players? How many? Apart from Doku, how many players you play for Man City don't have technical ability and can just run and like to run and run? No, they all are very techie. They're all, and loads of people say, Sancho can't play in the Premier League. How can Bernardo Silva play in the Premier League? And David Silva and all these little small players that don't have any strength. How comes all of them can play in the Premier League? All of these little Spaniards that come and play for Man City. All these small little players that can hold the ball and bounce. All these little players, they can all play in the Premier League, but Sancho can't. It's not about the Premier League. It's about the football that Manchester United want to play. It's about that. It's about the fact that this manager doesn't like technical footballers. He wants footballers who can just run. He doesn't want to keep the ball. He doesn't want to play against teams with a low block and just keep the ball and keep it moving and rotate the ball and wait for a little passing lane, wait for a space to unfold. He wants to play this quick rush transition football again, and that's why I'm glad AMAD is playing. Don't get me wrong. That's why he wanted to play the whole 3-1-6 that he did last season. That's why he wanted to play Garnacho and Rashford, transition players, and Bruno. That's why Bruno is playing. That's why Mount is playing. That's the kind of football he wants to play. And that's not the kind of football I want to see. So I know a lot of people wanted Ten Hag to stay, but I don't know. This is the reason why I wanted him to leave, because if you cannot fit Jadon Sancho into the team, into this team, this failed team last season, if you've lost Forson, lost Palestri, and lost all these players and you still can't fit Jadon Sancho into the squad, then I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Jadon is going. I mean, there's a lot of talk of Sancho leaving the club anyway. So maybe because Jadon is leaving, they don't want Jadon to be injured. But Scott McTominay's leaving, and Scott McTominay got 15 minutes in the first match. So I don't know, man. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think of the above, about AMAD, about Jadon, about the manager, about the type of football the manager wants to play. Let me know. I'm definitely gonna chop this in its own separate. Oh, we're not recording, are we? Yeah, I'm gonna chop that. But yeah, anyway, we are a couple minutes from the game, guys. Even though I'm surprised about the lineup, it isn't the lineup that I would have picked. Aren't the players that I would have picked. But at the end of the day, we're here to watch Man United, and we're Man United fans, and we want to win this game. It won't be an easy game. We played Brighton last season, and Brighton gave us a good game, both home and away. Brighton play really good football. Brighton are one of those teams that always hold up to Man United fans. Whenever Man United fans talk about the fact that Ten Hag needs Ten Hag needs 11 new players, or Ten Hag needs these specific players, or Ten Hag don't have his players, or Ten Hag last season we have so many injuries. Whenever people want to make all of these excuses for this manager, I hold up teams like Brighton Football Club to fans to show, listen, Brighton Football Club play better football than Manchester United, and their footballers are not better individually than Manchester United footballers. They're not. So, if you have a team with footballers that are not as good, right, playing better football, more dynamic football, keeping the ball better than another team with better footballers, then it has to be training. It has to be the manager. It has to be coaching. Because Man United players should be able to do exactly the same and better, or even more, than Brighton players. And if that's not the case, if we're not playing better, then it's coaching. So I always like to use teams like Brighton to show, listen, people, listen. This team, this Man United team, can play a different style of football if they're coached differently. This manager, if he knew what he was doing, CASEMIRO wouldn't be getting caught every time the opposition transition, because he's by himself in the midfield and there's nobody around him. Or like we would have scored more goals. Like the way that we played football last season was atrocious, and that's because of the manager. I don't trust the way the manager sees football. I don't trust the way the type of wingers the manager wants to play, the type of midfielders the manager wants to buy. He bought Mason Mount where nobody wanted Mason Mount. He sanctioned the 80 million, 90 million pound signing of Antony. He played Garnacho for like 40 games last season, even though he's not good enough to play week in, week out for Manchester United. Like, this manager, his decision making, this manager's choices that he's made, the players that he's signed about 11, 12 players now, and only about half of them have been good. There's just too many things that I don't like about this manager, and there's too many reasons for the owners to get rid of this guy. And I still think that, I hope he does well. I hope Man United do well this season and we get into top four and we win the Europa League. But based on what I saw last season, I still believe this manager will probably be gone by Christmas. Honestly, do. If he doesn't change, if he doesn't drop Mount or Bruno, if he doesn't start playing some type of football, I reckon there's a strong possibility that this manager does not last. Does not last after Christmas. So we'll see. We will see. Brighton will give us a good game, like I said. But we should, on paper, and I know football isn't played on paper, but we should technically on paper have too much for Brighton. I think he's gonna go this high press, high transition football. He's gonna play Bruno as a false nine, I reckon, just like he did last time. He's gonna play some sort of 4-2-4 formation, especially when we're pressing. It's going to be a 4-2-4. It's going to be four attackers pressing. You're going to have Mount and Bruno splitting, pressing as some sort of front two. We're going to have Rashford and, of course, AMAD pressing on the wings. And obviously the midfield two, Kobe and CASEMIRO. In my opinion, Kobe is not somebody who should play in a double pivot. as much as this manager is trying to make Kobe into some sort of DM, Kobe Manu is not a DM, guys. Let's just keep this 100 right now. Like the way he plays football, he's like, just because someone can do something and someone might have some of the attributes to do something, it doesn't mean they should do that thing. And that's one of the things we did with Pogba. We tried to play Pogba as a DM, and while Pogba can pick the ball up from the back four and play as a DM, Pogba is a number 8. Pogba is a box-to-box player. You let him get forward like a number 10, and you let him run back, you know, like a defensive midfielder. You play Pogba as a box-to-box midfielder. Anyway, we are just 10 seconds from the game starting. I thought I was live. We're running a bit behind, guys. It's annoying, isn't it? We can't do anything to advert. It's probably going to be 3 minutes of adverts as well. That is crazy. How can I be watching adverts and the game's apparently started? What's wrong with this? Anyway, we're going to go live. The game's started, so we're being forced to watch these idiot adverts. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be like a couple minutes of adverts, so we're going to be like a couple minutes behind on our stream. So I didn't even realize the game has started, rude boy. And now I'm being forced to watch this crap. Yeah, yeah. Full on adverts. Full on, probably like a 3 minute worth of adverts, you know. These ads are getting too much, you know. So yeah, guys, the game I think has started, but the way that we're watching it, we're just been forced to watch some adverts, and because we ain't seen the beginning of the game as well. The thing is, yeah, I didn't even round. I don't know if we round it back to even begin. I might have to like still, you know, move it about and jig it. Yeah, but I don't know how many times it's gonna keep doing this. You know, the ones. All right, start it. Let's go. And the clock has started 0-0. We finally can start the stream, can start the watch along. Flipping neck. All right. This manager is starting Bruno and Mount again together. So we've got the same formation, like I said, Dallo on the left, Martinez, Maguire. Then you got Mazraoui. I don't know the whole point of getting Ligt and Lenny was so we have more mobility at the back, so our defenders can, you know, play the halfway line. So I'm not quite sure why he's starting with Maguire and not Ligt after all of that. After all of that chasing Ligt, you're still gonna play Maguire. I understand playing Maguire the last game because Ligt was only just signed, but after a week of training, should we not be expecting Ligt now to start? Yeah, so Maguire, you know, playing out for them back is still going to be an issue, especially with Maguire. It's not good. Mazraoui giving the ball away. It's not good enough. Passing needs to be sharper. But see, once again, what we're trying to do, we're trying to be quick and dynamic. But the problem with trying to be quick all the time, the speed all the time, is a lot of goals, guys, are scored when you slow the game down because you can't play quick football all the time. Sometimes when you put your foot on the ball, nice, Dallo. When you put your foot on the ball and slow the game down, you can see more, obviously. Sometimes when you slow the game down, you can open up more spaces. I just wish this manager just had different ways of playing football. This is good from Brighton. All right, decent. Yeah, this guy's quick. Dallo, this number 17. Dallo couldn't even keep up with him, flipping egg. And Dallo's not even slow. That's nice, Kobe. Give it, Bruno. Just give it. Simple. Almost lost the ball, bro. Like, simple balls. I wish Bruno's played it simple, man, more often. All right, Kobe. Give it back to Bruno. And that's what people like. That cross there from Bruno. People say something like, well, if he doesn't do it, then he's going to do it. And at least he's trying and he does things. Like, that is so... I don't know, man. I don't want to see stuff like that. He didn't even look. He just played the ball into a space. That's nice. Rashford. Do something intelligent, Rashford. Do something smart. Pass the ball. Well done. He didn't lose the ball. All right, over the top from Bruno. Too much on it. All right. We're approaching the first 5 minutes of the game. So far, okay. Brighton don't quite look like Brighton. So far, they don't quite look the same, especially when Zirkzee was managing them. It doesn't quite looked like a deservy Brighton team. But the game's only just started, right? Only been the first 5 minutes, and as we know, the first 10 minutes of the game is when both teams start to feed each other out. It's when you start to develop a bit of momentum. You start to put your foot on the game. First 10 minutes of every game is the simmering minutes. They're the simmering minutes. After then, you can start to figure out how the game's gonna go. After things have calmed down, United are pressing a lot. So that is a thing that United are doing. They're definitely, hey, almost there. Is it corner? There you go. So like I said, we are pressing. I still don't think we're pressing that well, but at least we are pressing. And that's the thing about the modern game of football. Let me tell you guys about the modern game of football. A lot of goals are scored now not because another team is cutting through another team by playing better football, by opening them up, by playing brilliant football. A lot of goals now are scored by just winning the ball off the defenders very high up, pressing. That's why there's such a focus on pressing now. Here we go. Corner, clearance from Brighton. There's a lot of focus on pressing because they realize that it's another way of scoring without having to be creative, without having to create a goal. And creating a goal is much harder thing to do than scoring a goal. Once you've created a goal, usually all you need to do is tap the ball into an empty net a lot of the times. Look at Man City. A lot of Man City's goals are just tap-ins. It's much harder now in this modern game to create openings, create spaces, and create a goal, especially the way that we all defend, especially in a system game. It's much harder to create chance than there is to score a chance. Hence why pressing is now used as a way of scoring a goal without having to break down a low block, without having to play the ball through the eye of a needle, through a stern defense. You don't have to do that if you win the ball from a defender high up by pressing them. So it's something that's definitely taken off, especially in the European game. Yeah, man. No Sancho is. I think Sancho's gone. Surely he's leaving. Like it's one of them ones where he's probably thinking, Rashford starts every week. Rashford doesn't need to prove himself ever. He played shit last season, and he starts this season, and yet I'm told that I need to just do this and I need to do that. I need to work. Listen, get out of there, man. I think Sancho's gonna leave. I wouldn't. If I was Sancho, I would leave. I don't really get why fans are angry at Sancho for wanting to play football, for wanting to better himself, for wanting more for himself. To say, listen, I'm not one of these guys you can manipulate and put on the bench. Like I'm not Maguire and McTominay. Like I deserve to be playing football. I am the best wing, arguably the best winger at this club. Whether you like me or not, I am. You guys can't tell me that Sancho can't be doing what Mount is doing. Anyway, 9 minutes gone. There we go. Onana came out, gave the ball to Dallo. Dallo lost it. I mean, in hindsight, if I was Onana, I probably would have stayed in my goal. Scoff shot from Jao Pedro. Look at Milner. You know, Milner's still playing football. Listen, I remember like football manager, championship manager, when like playing that game, watching Milner at the age of 17. Milner, listen, if any of you guys know, you know what you know. Yeah, you know if you know. Milner was a winger. Wilner is Wilner. Wilmer Milner is an attacking winger, right? That's where he plays. That's where he started as a youngster. And it's oh Ahmad. Oh Ahmad, you gotta do better than that. Oh Ahmad. Let me see. Let me see this. Yeah, you can't head it. You can't head it, but the volley could have been better. The volley could have been better. I wish he had two. If he was two footed, he would have taken it on his right foot. If he was right footed, that would have been perfect for him. But because he's left footed, he couldn't take it. Unlucky. Unlucky. Zirkzee watching on. No, it's not an easy chance by Ahmad. It wasn't an easy chance. But knowing what Ahmad has done before and knowing what he can do, I expect him to do better. What was that, Rashford? Who was that headed to? Ah, right. So yeah. So Brighton don't look as good as they were last season, for sure. We're not playing good football, really. We're trying to press, and it looks like we are not just pressing all the time. We are choosing when to press. I don't know how effective the way that we're pressing is. So far, it doesn't seem to be that effective, but we are pressing. Foul by Kobe Manu. Yeah. I mean, so far out of the two teams, United have so far had more of the opportunities. There haven't been many opportunities so far in this game, but the one or two, let's say, openings that have happened so far in this game have fell to Man United. United look very comfortable off the ball. That's one thing I can say, especially from last game. Off the ball, we look harder to beat than last season. Last season, oh, well done playing it out. Oh, Dallo. Last season, we were very open. Very, very open. I think, especially in this game, we're definitely playing with a flipping lower block. So far, our defenders haven't appeared anywhere near the halfway line when we've had the ball so far. Both Maguire and Ligt have been very deep when we've had the ball. Well done. I think maybe Ahmad should have left that. You should have given it to Ahmad. You should have given it back. Use the overlap. That's not very. I'm not impressed by that Masraoui at all. That pass, that ball in. I don't know who that was for. You got to do better than that, Mazraoui. You got to either use the overlap that AMAD was giving you, or you clip the ball over the top. Like that ball was not good. United should be able to win this one. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, we're playing very tight. But Brighton are playing a very high line, and I'm very surprised that we haven't utilised the spacing behind Brighton's back line. I'm very surprised that this manager once again is playing Mount and Bruno, because for me this looks perfect for someone like Zirkzee to come in the middle, hold the ball up, feed the ball to AMAD, feed the ball to Rashford, let Rashford and AMAD run beyond Zirkzee into the space that I've just spoken about. Into, there we go, winning the ball back. Oh, Kobe, unlucky. Unlucky, Kobe. That is what I'm trying to say, guys. Kobe Manu, don't blame DM. That's not where you want Kobe. You want Kobe as close to the goal as possible. That's kind of where you want Kobe. Anyway, Brighton on the attack. Well done, Casemiro. Cut it back. No, Rashford. That's not good. Oh, that's not good from Brighton. Yeah, so 17 minutes, 17 and a half minutes gone. This is going to be a close game. That's the first thing I can understand. And not because Brighton are really that good. It's because United are not adventurous right now. The team resembles Ten Hag. Ten Hag's a nervous wreck. A nervous wreck. And that's why he's playing Mount and Bruno. He's playing he's playing no striker, even though he's got two to pick from, including Sancho. He can play Sancho false nine. The sad thing is, for a team got more midfielders now on the pitch, technically playing with four central midfielders: Casemiro, Manu, Mount, and Bruno. Right, plus two wingers. For a team that's got all of these midfielders packing the team, like, we're not keeping the ball. So the whole point of having all of those midfielders on the pitch is to monopolize possession and to press and to keep the ball. And we're not keeping the ball. We still are not retaining possession. And as we can see, Rashford's not playing well. And Rashford will play like this. How we're seeing Rashford play today, he's doing nothing on the pitch. He'll play like this all season. While at the same time, Sancho can't get into the team. And all I'm saying to people is that Sancho's worst games are not as bad. Sancho's worst games are better than some of Rashford's best games. Like, Rashford can't even keep the ball and retain possession. And you're telling me that Jadon Sancho can't even get into the squad as a replacement for Rashford at 80 minutes or 70 minutes. We're all watching the game together. We're all sitting here watching this game. Like, this whole playing 100-mile-an-hour football is not. It doesn't always work. We saw it. We saw it last season, and that's why we said we need a more technical game. We need to buy technical footballers who can break down low blocks, who can break down rigid defending and defenders, not just people like Rashford who can run. We said we need a more technical game, but we're getting rid of technical players. And I'm watching the first 20 minutes of this game where all Rashford wants to do is run past and run beyond somebody. There's no possession football here. We're just walking around and letting Brighton have the ball. And this is what the Man United fans in the stadium want to see. This kind of football. The goalkeeper's walking around. There we go. Pedro, good tackle. There we go. AMAD with the ball. AMAD cutting in. Oh, Mount, man, that wasn't the ball. One thing, well, no, listen, another thing I don't like about Mount, yeah, is that he never takes responsibility. Mount is that sort of player that as soon as he gets the ball, he gives it. He just gives it. He doesn't want to, he doesn't do anything himself. He gets the ball and he passes it to someone else to do something. He just runs into, I don't mind those sort of players, but you gotta be able to be good at shooting or good, you gotta be good at something in your own right. That's a handball, man. What the heck is that? That's a handball, man. Come on. Mount is a footballer that doesn't stand tall, doesn't grab the ownership of any situation. That's Mason Mount, and he's too passive. If your best attributes, guys, yeah, are all off the ball, then I can't rate you as a footballer. If I ask you what's Mason Mount good at, and you tell me all of these things that don't involve the football, like he's good at pressing, he's good at running. Okay, cool. What's he good at when he has the ball at his feet? What's he good at? What's he special? What is he special at? Like Mason Mount, he's just irritating because he's so shit. Oh my gosh. Casemiro was on side. Was he on side? He might be on side. To be fair to Casemiro, guys, he was far away from he wasn't near the goal. The the leak. Oh, I thought that was, yeah, Old Trafford. There's a leak. This is Brighton Stadium. Have they fixed the leak at Old Trafford? I don't even know. Oh, that's nice. That's nice from Brighton. Oh, this game. This game is not a good game to watch, man. There's not a lot of good football being played today, right now. But how are you gonna look at this game? Because this Brighton team hasn't been threatening at all. They've had one or two opportunities to create a chance. No, they haven't actually created a chance. They've had opportunities to create a chance, but so have we. This United team seems to be more compact, definitely out of possession than they were last season so far. But we're not that good in possession still. We don't keep the ball well. I don't think we're pressing that well at all. I think it's very slow, very static when we have the ball. There we go, Mount. Ah, well done, Mason Mount. That's quite good. Bruno, stop doing that outside of the boot right foot thing. I don't understand Bruno why he gets away with, like, if that was Antony or anyone else doing all these little outside of the boot, outside of the boot, whatever he wants to do, cross shot thing, people, the crowd will be this, I don't know, getting vexed, getting angry. But this guy's always doing. Listen, this, you're not that good. Stop with that crap, man. Oh, he's doing it again, bro. He's doing it again. It's outside of the boot cross business. Oh, Dallo, well, unlucky. Everybody knew what you were doing, though. Where you set that whole ball up and your whole body shape, everyone can see. As soon as you just touch, as soon as you did this, I like Dallo on the left because Dallo can step in field and he's got a really good shot. He can whip the ball with his right foot. There's one thing I'm seeing with um Mazraoui. The one thing I'm seeing is that he doesn't cross the ball. He played football for the whole of the first game. I don't think he crossed the ball once. And the one or two crosses he's tried to put in this game have hit the first man. And one of the reasons why we got rid of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and I'm not saying Mazraoui is not going to be good at crossing the ball. He could be getting rusty. He could just be rusty. He needs a bit more practice or whatever. Insert reason. Insert whatever reason. But I'm just saying that we sold Aaron Wan-Bissaka because he's not that good going forward. While I can already see that Mazraoui is at a higher technical level than Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think he is. You can already see that. So far, the crosses that he's put in haven't been that good. Anyway, 28 minutes gone. Here we go. On the counter attack. This is what we want. AMAD. I can't believe these guys got stroppy. Nah, see? What you just saw there, guys, let me just try to explain something there. Like, that's called wavelengths, man. There's some players here. Ahmad wants to play with certain players on his wavelength that can play quick, that can do gives and goals. And you can tell, yeah, that he wanted one or two give and goals. He wanted quick passing there. And the players that AMAD were passing the ball to, Rashford's, for instance, weren't playing that kind of football, weren't alert to that. And this is what I'm trying to say. When his manager is playing footballers that are all about pace and power and not really about technicality, and you're playing those footballers with technical footballers that want to play a certain way, and you have clash of let's call it football understanding. The clash of football understanding. Like the ball from AMAD to Rashford went behind him. I get that. It was behind him. But it has to be because Rashford was about to run offside. And the run from Mason Mount, was it Mason Mount? That run wasn't a good run. Oh my gosh. There you go. 1-0. Welbeck scored. He was unmarked, totally unmarked in the middle of the box. A simple cross and a simple 1 yard tapping. The one opportunity that they had really in our box, the one time they really got into the United box, and they've scored. And now United players are arguing with each other, having a conversation about whose fault is it. Let's see this again. Because we look like we're in a very comfortable defensive position. Look. Who's marking him? Cass. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's very difficult because nobody's really nobody has a man tattooed to their arm in terms of what man to be marking. It's a good ball in, but the fact of the matter is, there's only two centre backs, and there's three. What are we gonna do now? Is that offside? Offside. I thought Rashford. Rashford thought he scored. I thought Rashford scored. Offside. But yeah, he's offside. Why couldn't Rashford just stay on side? Oh, Rashi. Wait, was that his? It came off his heel. What kind of? He headed it. So Rashford headed it. The keeper saved it. It went back to Rashford. Rashford, without even realizing, hit his heel or his foot, and then he went in. What kind of madness is this? Nah, that's some bookie goal, bruv. Oh my. Yeah. This is crazy. Listen, we wanted the game to come alive, and the game has come alive. Brighton have scored, and we scored an offside goal. Rashford scoring with the ball hitting his heel. We haven't really created an opening. We haven't created a clear-cut chance. AMAD probably could have done more with the opportunity that he had, but it was difficult. Good catch from Onana. But yeah, it's just weird because this is not. I don't even feel like Brighton have come out of first gear. I don't even feel that like this is Brighton's strongest team. This is not a good performance from Brighton. I don't think they're playing that well. This Brighton team is not that good. They're not that good. And still, they're 1-0 ahead of us. We're not doing anything. We're still walking around on the pitch. We're still playing very slowly. There's no urgency in the way we're playing. There's no patterns of play. We're literally getting nothing off the left-hand side. On the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, AMAD's dropping deep. AMAD's trying to, come for the ball. On this left-hand side, Rashford can't do that. Rashford doesn't like... Rashford is offering nothing on this side. Corner. That's much better, guys. Oh my gosh. If anybody in their right mind, yeah, thinks that Ugarte coming in, one man coming in, because right now we've had Ligt come in, we've had Mazraoui come in. If we think Ugarte, one man coming in, is going to change the way that this manager sees football, change the way this manager wants us to play, listen, you've got another thing coming. Here we go. You can give this manager all the tools. All of these guys who love all of the fans who love this manager, you can give him all the tools that you want. If you see football the way you see football, you can give all the nice tools. You're still gonna design the thing in the way you want to design it. I can give you all the state of the art shit, yeah, all the modern day shit. If you can only use Windows 95, yeah, you're probably gonna stick to Windows 95, bruv. Even though there's Windows 2000 and whatever. Like, there's some people who just rather use fucking pen and paper than type. There's some people who'd rather use birds and ravens to send messages than email. Like, it doesn't matter about technology. It doesn't matter what players you have and all the new shiny toys you have. You're still gonna produce the same shit. Like, Mason Mount and Bruno can't play together. This manager tried that last season. He tried it last season. It didn't work, and he's trying the same shit. That's probably why I'm so angry. The same shit that we saw this guy do, right, that made us finish 8th, is the same shit that he's doing right now. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. Because at the end of the day, what's happening right now, as we can see, guys, whenever the ball goes forward, there's no one to hold the ball up. When the ball goes forward, and this is, I keep saying the same thing, the way that Man City and Arsenal can sustain attacks. It's not just one attack, they lose the ball, and then they don't see the ball again for 10 minutes, like the way that we play. They keep going, they sustain attacks. They win the ball back very quickly when they lose it, which is something that we don't do. And more importantly, they don't lose the ball by doing stupid things. They pass the ball, they keep moving it and moving it until an opportunity arises, right? We can't play that kind of football because the manager doesn't want to play that kind of football. The manager doesn't want to play those sort of players that play that kind of football. He doesn't. You can't tell me that Sancho, who's perfect for that sort of football, for that possession football, he can't even get into the team, Sancho. He can't even get into the squad. And the sad thing is, a lot of United fans, they're okay about that. They're so angry with whatever they're angry about. They're okay with making Man United weaker. Oh my gosh. Rashford. Just play the simple ball, Rashford, man. My gosh. All right. Oh, now Rashford's injured on the floor. I've said this many times, man. Man United, until they get rid of Bruno and Rashford and those sort of players, until we change the way that we see football until the way that we play football is not dictated by those players. Until we stop building teams around those sort of players, we will never win the Premier League. Like, Rashford does not win the Premier League. Rashford is not a Premier League winning winger. He doesn't start for any Premier League winning team. Bruno, in my opinion, you might disagree. He loses the ball way too much, and he's not consistent enough. He's not a Premier League winning midfielder. He isn't. And the sad thing is, the alternatives to the wingers that we have are Garnacho and Antony. The same alternatives that we had last season that made us finish 8th, Garnacho and Antony, are the same alternatives that we had this season. And we could have had one more alternative. We could have had a different option other than Garnacho and Antony. We could have had Sancho, a player that we didn't play last season, a player that didn't play any game, at least a different type of option to have on the bench. We could have had that, but the manager says no. The manager says, I want the same players, the same attacking players, apart from Zirkzee, who's a new signing. And last season was one of the lowest goal tallies we've had. We didn't score goals last season. This manager wants to play with the same attackers that failed last season and not include any new ones. This football is poor, man. This football is terrible. I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of it. Oh, that is so poor. That's so poor. Why did we just give the ball away like that? Is this match going to be dominated by Sancho talk? Whenever we lose and Sancho isn't playing, guys, we have to use this. We have to have a scapegoat, right? So let me know what you guys think. If we lose this game, are all the Man United fans gonna blame Sancho for the fact that we lost rather than the players that played? Are we gonna use him as a scapegoat? And also, I want you guys to understand this. We're all watching. We're all watching the way Rashford is playing. We're all watching right now the way Rashford is playing. I don't want to hear anything about Sancho when we're watching. And this Rashford performance, this is Rashford almost every game. This is how he plays almost every game. And I don't want to hear from anybody about Sancho not playing in the Premier League and Sancho not suited to the Premier League when we get this kind of performance from Rashford almost every single game. How does that make sense? There's too much feelings in football analysis rather than objectivity. Way too much feelings, bruv. Because of the feelings about Rashford, and Rashford has scored goals in the past, we allow him to get away with terrible performances. How about yes, when Rashford plays well, praise him and say he plays well. But how about when he's not playing well, we take him off the pitch and we play someone else? How about we just treat all these people fairly rather than having favourites? Rather than letting Rashford play shit for 10 games in a row while still saying, you earn your spot, you earn your spot. No spot is... Stop lying and say you earn your spot. These players that finished 8th last season haven't earned another chance, bruv. None of them have earned another chance, and they're all having another chance. Because right now, I'm not gonna lie, guys, no Sancho on the bench. Right now, half time, I'm taking Rashford off. I'm taking Rashford off. I'm taking Mount off. I'm putting Zirkzee up front. I'm putting Sancho on the left. I'm putting AMAD on the right. Zirkzee up front. Simple. Kobe, Bruno, and Casemiro behind them. Divergent Curl, what are you saying to me? Let me read some comments. Let me read some comments. Half time. You guys not playing Sancho is interesting. Must be done at United. He must be done. Yeah, I think Sancho's done out here, man. I don't understand United why they hurt themselves. I get the whole, yeah, Mason Greenwood has to go because of the whole allegations and whatnot. But the whole Sancho thing, Sancho, like Anthony's there raping and beating his wife up. Literally raping and beating his, I don't care. He's punched up his girl and all these things. And we're defending him and we're hiding things from the press. We're telling club doctors not to do this. We're hiding all of these things and we're keeping the whole story quiet. The whole Anthony beating up his missus, all these things. We're keeping that story hush hush. We're doing all we can as a football club to keep that under wraps. But yet Sancho has to be blasted for. Apparently, Sancho needs to earn his way into the team. Sancho needs to do this. Sancho needs to do that. Sancho, this Jadon Sancho. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's not. It's not. There's no equality, bruv. There's no consistency with what this manager says and what this club's doing. Like, and this is why, and I want you guys to understand. This is why we can't do stuff at this club, because not only do the fans not like technical footballers, the fans don't. Imagine the Louis van Gaal sort of football where we're keeping the ball, keeping the ball. The fans booed Louis van Gaal out of the stadium. The fans don't like that type of football. They like the isolation football, the whole Ryan Giggs, Cristiano Ronaldo football, where you have the ball as a winger and you beat your man. You go and take your man on. You dribble past two people. Then that's the kind of football that the fans still want to see, and that football doesn't exist anymore because you don't have wingers that are really like 100 times quicker than fullbacks these days. That doesn't really happen. Wingers and fullbacks have the same speed often in modern game. There's not that much differential in speed. Most people are similar speeds. So you don't really get the freaks of nature, the speed merchants. And usually when you do get the speed merchants, they're not that good technically. They're the Adama Traores and whatnot who are really quick, but they're not good technically. So you got to make your mind up. Look at Man City. Man City keep the ball, keep the ball, keep the ball, and they don't have speed. Apart from Doku, they don't have speed merchants. They've won the league many times by playing what's his name? Grealish, Foden, and even Mahrez. Mahrez is not speed merchants. Mahrez is just a good dribbler. They win the league without having some speedy wingers because they'd rather win the league or they'd rather play football with technical players and then play a more technical game where they can keep the ball. The problem is the way that we see football, the way that this manager sees football, and I've said this many times. I said this at the end of last season. I want to understand what the manager thinks he needs in order to win the league. After his first season, I want to know what he's taken away from the league, what ideas, what rules of play has he taken away from the Premier League? How's he assessed the Premier League, and what does he think this football club needs to win the Premier League? And what we've seen over the last 2 years is his answer. He thinks this is what needs to be done to win the Premier League. Rather than playing their technical game, Liverpool are doing a more technical game now. Chelsea are playing with more technical players and playing a more technical game. Man City have always done it. Arsenal do it. This manager thinks he wants to take all the technical players out of the team and play with just loads of pace. Like, I'm tired of it. There's one thing I said I wanted to see this season is good football. I wanted to see good football. You've won 2 trophies in 2 seasons, and you can celebrate that. and you've been celebrating that. But the football that you played last season was worse than Mourinho football. It was worse than Jose football. So this season, I want to see good football, and we're not seeing that from this manager. We didn't see it in the last game. We didn't see it. We're not seeing it this game. And the only time we saw decent or any kind of good football, but any type of decent football, the only time we saw it was in pre-season, where we saw AMAD, we saw Sancho, and we saw Rashford play together. When we saw those front three play together, interchanging, moving, one touch, two touch, we saw some good football, which means if Zirkzee comes on, we can probably see something good, but this manager won't do it. He doesn't want to do it. I just don't understand the thought process in this manager's head. Don't you want to win the game? Brighton are there for the taking. They're not playing well, but because of our negative approach, flooding the midfield with both Mount and Bruno, that we all can see as United fans, as football people, they don't work together. They occupy the same space. They have the same similar weaknesses, similar strengths. They don't complement each other. They don't, and they definitely don't complement Rashford. And I'm tired of not seeing Sancho. I'm tired of not seeing this guy, and this guy being given different rules to abide by. You got to do this to get in the team. You got to do this to get into the squad. I'm like, listen, how about you? How about you got to be a good footballer? How about you play your best players? How about you bring him into the squad? How about you take Rashford off right now, who's playing shit, and you bring on Sancho? How about that? And stop messing around. And if you don't like Jaden, if you don't like his player profile, if you don't like the type of a winger he is, a type of winger that doesn't just run and beat his man, but he wants to play combination. He wants to give and go. He wants to play football as a team. He's not an isolation player. And that's what a lot of United fans and the manager likes, these quick isolation players. He's not that. He's a more of a Man City type player. And if you don't like that type of winger, say so. But it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But anyway, guys, this is what I think. I think this is just evidence of, listen, you can give somebody new tools, but it's going to be very similar results. You can give somebody new wrapping paper, new chocolate wrappers. It's still the same chocolate inside. You can change the packaging. You can change the packaging, but inside the thing is the same thing. This is what it is. A lot of United fans have been thinking, do you know what? Give this manager all the tools. Give this manager a full squad to pick from, and he'll start playing some good football. Listen, you don't need good players to play good football. Look what Brighton have been doing. Look what other teams like Burnley last season. Burnley don't have better players than Man United, but they played better football. You don't need the players to implement a style. You can have some shit footballers implement a sort of style of football, and these footballers don't do it that well, but at least you can see what they're trying to do. Last season, we did nothing. Our style of play was shocking, and we expect this same manager with this shockingly sewer shit style of football to, in the space of 2 months, from June, May to July, August, in the space of 2 months, to transform the way he plays with 4 or 5 new footballers. It's not going to happen. So it is what it is. Orhan in the house. Orhan, thank you for joining. The second half will be commencing shortly. I'm going to have a 2-3 minute break, quick toilet break, guys, but I'll be back. Smash a like as usual. Turn on notifications, man. Drop a comment when you join the chat, guys. This is going to be a very interesting second half. And I can see it going 2 ways. I can see it being 2-1 to Man United if the manager makes the changes. But if not, I can see it being 2-0. And also, one thing I don't want to see online is people now talking about AMAD, because at the end of the day, it's one of them ones where I'm literally watching a game where Bruno's not doing anything, Rashford's not doing anything, and these are all senior players. So if anyone wants to be talking about AMAD today and how bad he's playing, I expect everyone, that those same players, to be talking about Rashford and Bruno and Mount as well, because they're more senior players and they're not doing anything. I hate the fact that when you become popular, there's certain players here that will never get the criticism because people are scared. People are scared to criticize Bruno. People are scared to criticize Mount because of their fan base will come after them. Whereas people like AMAD and Sancho, if it's popular, if it's easy to criticize a player, they'll call that player out. Hence why Sancho's and those sort of players, they're very easy targets. You can get on those players, you can blame those players, and it's fashion. It's popular to do so, and you know you're not gonna get any clapback. But if you dare criticize Rashford or Bruno, you're gonna get 100 million people on Twitter just killing you. And that's what it is. Sometimes a lot of these people are just scared, they're shook. One, they don't understand how or know how to analyze the game that they're seeing because they're not even watching it properly. And two, they're just shook youths. They're scared to just pop their necks out of the sand, yeah, put their necks above other people and say with their chest how they really feel. Shook ones. But on this channel, guys, I've said it many times. On this channel, we talk the talk. We say what we see. We say what we see, not how we feel. I feel aware about Sancho. I feel aware about certain players, but right now all I can do is tell you guys what I've seen over these 45 minutes. It is what it is. Anyway, guys, I'll be back in a minute. I'll be back in a minute. We are back and almost Tennyson, maybe. I don't know. You can see how do and we started the second half, guys. We started the second half, guys. So we got Zirkzee. So I want everybody who's watching this to understand what has happened there. The manager has now taken off Mason Mount and put on Zirkzee. Every single person and their dog knew the Mason Mount, yeah, and knows Mason Mount should be nowhere near this first team. Everyone knows that Zirkzee has to start. And he's now understood this. My problem with this manager is when everyone was seeing the issues with the midfield last season, why didn't he sort it out? When everyone can see that Mason Mount, everyone knows Mason Mount shouldn't be playing, why does he still? He's very stubborn when he's wrong. That's one of the worst places to be, yeah, in terms of stubbornness. I don't mind if you're stubborn, yeah, and you're right. That's good. But often this manager is wrong and he's stubborn in his wrongness. That's one of my main issues with this manager. I'm like, why can't you see? You're supposed to be the manager of a football club, but why can't you see what everyone else can see? Why? It doesn't make sense. And now, after the first half, the problem is this: managers, yeah, aren't always like. I want a manager who's about the team. This manager puts himself, yeah, forward. He puts himself first too many times. The reason why Sancho's not playing is because he wants to save face with Antony. Antony was bought to play on the right wing a season after we bought Sancho to play on the right wing. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And Antony is his signing. It's £80 million signing. And he will stick by Antony before he sticks by his own son. Similarly, Mason Mount was Ten Hag's signing. £60 million signing. He's wearing the number 7 shirt. I think, once again, he wants to be that guy to give Mason Mount, well done, Dallo, give Mason Mount all the opportunities in life to make it here. He wants to give this guy all the opportunities in life to make it at Man United, while someone like Sancho doesn't get any. He wants to save face. All the players that he signed, because Sancho is not a Ten Hag signing. He was there before Ten Hag. He's an inherited player. And all the players that Ten Hag signing, he wants to keep playing them. He wants to show that they're good. They're the players that he's put the most faith in. So we'll see. We will see what Zirkzee can do now that he's on the field. There we go. There we go. Well done. That's aggressive football. Dallo and Zirkzee getting the ball out there. And once again, watch Bruno. Bruno just presses the goalkeeper always by himself and leaves that big space. Look, I want you to understand what has happened, guys. That all this attack here from Brighton all came from that Bruno press. Oh, cleared off the line by Dallo. I want you guys to understand how football is very complex, and I always tell you guys, yeah, that Bruno's a problem. That Brighton counter attack, like I said, yeah, the space it came from was a space vacated by like the one thing that people want you to do. They want to invite the press, yeah. They want to invite you to press them so they can beat the press. Because once they've beaten you, there's a big space for them to exploit. So a lot of times, yeah, what they actually want is to goad you in to the press. So you vacate your space, vacate your area, and give them an easy way to score. And many, many times, if you watch football, Bruno is the midfielder. He will run past the striker, past Zirkzee, vacate his man in that middle of the pitch, vacate his space, leave that space completely open by running straight at the goalkeeper, running past our striker, Martial or Zirkzee, and then leave us open to the counter attack. Many times that will happen in a game. Many times. And not enough people talk about how many times Bruno's headless chicken run, because a lot of the British fans, they see that he's running and they're like, look at Bruno, he cares. Look at Bruno, he cares. He's running. He's making an effort. At least he makes an effort. At least he runs. How many times does Bruno make an interception and how many times does Bruno actually make a tackle? If he's running 100 million, trillion, quillion, billion kilometers and he's only making one interception and one tackle, it means it's not effective. It means it's not effective. It's not just about quantity, it's about quality. And too many United fans just focus on quantity rather than quality. A lot of these things that you see that you think don't mean anything or don't matter or don't attribute or don't result in anything. Please understand, if you keep running and vacating your position and if you don't press properly, it's a problem. Here we go. Finish. Oh, Bruno. Oh, that was a good cutback. What's he doing? And that's what I'm trying to say about Bruno. That's technical ability that we're seeing there, man. He tried to swing his foot at it and the ball hit his knee. Look at flipping Zirkzee already. Look at Zirkzee's technical ability. He's just so secure on the ball. Everything that he's doing so far, Zirkzee, is with purpose. I'm liking what I've seen from Zirkzee so far. Welbeck's header. That's a decent. Well, it's not goal. It's not a goal scoring opportunity as we like to call them, but you know he got up, he got high, got some good height on it. Welbeck in that opportunity. Bruno, stop playing those passes with the outside of your boot. Just play a normal pass. See, that's what I'm trying to say about Bruno. He didn't need to give the ball away there. That wasn't a difficult pass. And, or, you could argue, why did he want to even make that pass? He made it difficult by trying to use the outside of his foot. Oh, Rashford missed anyway, man. He's such a rubbish striker. Oh. Ah. 56 minutes on the clock. Mazraoui did well. Oh, free kick, AMAD. No, AMAD, I mean, you gave away the foul, bro. You're holding on to his shirt. You just misread the ball, man. You ran away from the ball. I don't feel good about this free kick. I don't know. Let's see what happens. I did say I didn't feel good about the free kick, guys. And they hit the crossbar. Oh, the post. Welbeck again. I had a feeling, man. I said I don't feel good about this free kick. Welbeck's header hit the crossbar. Listen, the way that this second half is unfolding, it looks like there's only one winner. It looks like Brighton might even score a second goal. My gosh. Welbeck. Almost through. You're lucky. Dallow's lucky there, you know. Keep moving, all right. Can we have a bit of possession now? Maguire with the ball. Oh, two guys made a run, Maguire. Here we go. Dallow's through. I mean, Amad's through. Oh, he scores. Well done. That's a massive deflection. Massive deflection. And once again, Amad has saved this manager's skin. Get in. Get in. Get in. Amad Diallo. Ow. Amad Diallo. Ow. Dirty Diana. Listen, It is what it is. The goal was a messy goal. There was a massive deflection, but we'll take them. We'll take them because at the end of the day, that goal was going in. It was going to the bottom corner. So they just said, listen, why wait for it to go to the bottom corner where we can help you? We can help you steer the ball into the net. We don't need to wait for it to go to the bottom corner. AMAD has scored. Like I said at the beginning of this stream, no, VAR. Listen, he might be offside, guys. He looks onside. Look, yeah, man, don't try it. Don't try it. Look at the guy in the middle keeping him onside. Don't try to bring no VAR. VAR can flipping go away, bruv. Well done, AMAD. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, AMAD is going to get taken off by Garnacho. Even though he scored just now, the manager has automatically, no matter what happens in the game, AMAD could be having the best game of his life. I think the manager has already factored in that every game that AMAD starts, he's going to take him off for Garnacho. That's why I can't stand this manager. Like, I hope now the manager sees that Rashford has to come off. I hope the manager now sees that it's Garnacho needs to come on for Rashford. And it's not AMAD that needs to go off. But as we all see, the manager likes who he likes. The manager likes who he likes for whatever reason. But some people, as I said before, need to pay their rent every day. AMAD, if AMAD doesn't score a goal or create a goal, yeah, if he doesn't do these things, he's not going to get a game. Whereas Rashford and other wingers and other players can play shit every game and still keep their place. So I saw the sub coming, the Garnacho on for AMAD. So I hope now that sub doesn't come anymore. There we go, AMAD again. Ah, that touch, AMAD. One thing you guys need to understand as well, which is a fact, it's not even an opinion right now. If Antony right now, think about how Rashford has played the whole game. We haven't even heard from him. He's been non-existent. He hasn't been good. Imagine if Antony was on the pitch right now and he was putting on the exact same performance as Rashford is right now. Imagine what will be trending on Twitter right now. 1-0 down, Antony on the pitch, Sancho on the pitch. What would everyone be saying? Is the lack of consistency, like I keep saying, is always going to be one of my biggest problems with the way that people see football. Oh, Rashford. Wow. Marcus Rashford comes off. This is surprising, guys. The manager has decided. Everybody alert, alert. The manager has decided to take off Marcus Rashford for Garnacho. Wow. 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 It looks like this manager does have a bit of balls. He does have a bit of common sense after. Listen, out of the two players, out of the two wingers, Rashford is the only choice to be taken off. The only choice. My only issue is the fact that Garnacho is the one to be going on first. Sancho is the first winger to come on the pitch whenever a winger needs to be changed. In my opinion, he needs to be the first winger to be brought on to change any game. Not all the time, because there'll be some games where we need Garnacho's directness. I understand that. There is. Listen, I'm not anti Garnacho. Not on this channel. We can't be like we can't be that way because Garnacho does have strengths. I'm not against Garnacho. I like the kid. I just think he's overrated, and I don't think he should be playing as often as he did last year. Last year, he played like 30, 40 games, and that's way too many games. He's not good enough to lead the line. Definitely not yet anyway. He might be good enough in the future. Who knows? I don't think he will be, but a lot of you guys do, which is fair, but he's not good enough yet to lead a Man United Man United front line on the left or on the right. He just isn't. But coming on as a substitute, as a direct footballer, someone who's more direct, maybe than AMAD, giving the opposition a different type of concern, a different type of winger to defend against, to mark against. I think bringing him on 20 minutes ago is the best thing to do. The best season for me, my favorite times watching Garnacho wasn't last season, because last season was crap. I didn't enjoy anything last season. It's a season before when he came on as a sub and he made those like last 20 minutes appearances. That's when I thought Garnacho was more effective, because he did something different to what the other wingers were doing. He was bringing something different. He was causing different types of problems to the opposition's defense. And that's when I thought, do you know what? Being an impact sub is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made his career out of. And that's definitely something that Garnacho can do while he beds himself into the team. I just didn't think he needed to be like constantly in the first team like he was last season. Anyway, we are here, 67 minutes on the clock, and it is 1-1. So we got 22 minutes to score a winning goal away from home against Brighton Football Club. And if Man United do end up with a win against Brighton, listen, regardless of the fact that once again the manager started very negatively, very defensively, regardless of the fact that we played badly, we haven't played well, beating Brighton away from home is a good thing, a very good thing. Like, we haven't actually been that bad defensively as a team. Yes, we conceded a goal that we probably shouldn't have conceded, but we haven't actually been that bad defensively. AMAD, well done, well done. Keep the ball, keep moving it, keep moving it, keep moving the ball. CASEMIRO, unlucky. No, that's all right. Now, see, this is what I'm saying. Now, go again. Go again. Keep the ball, pin them back. The way that Arsenal and Man City do, pin them back. Keep moving. Move into different spaces. If your space is occupied, yeah, Maguire, nice. Cool. And again, let's go again to Dallo. Drop deeper, Casemiro. Drop. Keep dropping. Look for it. And you as well, Kobe. You don't stand there. Look for it. Wow, Dallo. Ah, that first touch. Well done. Wow. Brighton are through. Three against. Oh, no. Well done. Well defended by Maguire. All right, Bruno. All right, I'm at the ball. Where's Bruno? Overlap. Oh no. Oh, what does it mean? Because Zirkzee's offside. If Zirkzee's touched it. Oh, if Zirkzee's touched it. I'm not celebrating until I know if this is a goal or not, because I don't. I'm not gonna lie here. It looks like Zirkzee's touched it and Zirkzee's offside. That's not. That's fine. So the pass to AMAD is fine. The pass to Bruno's fine. This pass is fine. Is oh oh no. Oh no, he's offside, Zirkzee. And it was going in. All you had to do was move out the way. But can't we argue? Can't we argue that the ball was going in anyway? Because surely, like, if the argument is the ball's about to go in, then it doesn't matter if he's offside. The ball's about to go in, right? Can't that be an argument? Like, let's look at this logically. If the ball's about to go in and and it's hit a player and that player's offside, can't the argument be it is going literally going in? Surely you can't say I'm offside. That's crazy. That's crazy, guys. Oh man, that's why I didn't want to celebrate. I saw it. It's oh no. I'm so that's so annoying. Zirkzee must be so upset. Oh, that's annoying. That was the best move of the game. And that was on a counter attack. That was on a transition. That was not against a Brighton team that got them players back into position, that fell back into their low block or their mid block. That was on transition, but that was good football. When Aman has support, that's what I'm trying to say. The whole isolation football thing is weird to me. All you need is wingers, and wingers need support. We go again at the end of the day. Ahmad had that winger. In this case, it was Bruno running off him, sliding through, overlap, boom, bam. You get a goal. Anyway, that's so unfortunate. So unfortunate by Zirkzee. Anyway, this game is far from over. Brighton are still trying to win the game. Ahmad to Garnacho. Get up, Bruno, man. Uh-oh. Counter attack from Brighton. Well done, Harry Maguire. Listen, Harry Maguire made a mistake for the goal, in my opinion. But over the last two games, he's been decent. He's played well. Like I said on this channel, whether you like Harry Maguire or not, whether you feel like he should be in a team or not, we just say what we see. Just say what you see. And what we can see is apart from what the mistake, like I said, he made, Maguire has had two decent games. He turned Kobe Manu too easily there. See, that's the problem. The way that he turned Kobe just now was so easy. Anyway, 15 minutes to go. I wish Zirkzee wasn't there. If Zirkzee was not there, because at the end of the day, if you're Zirkzee, You can't actually get out the way. You're on the floor, your body's sliding. There's nothing you can actually do. I just it's shoulda, woulda, coulda, wishes and all these things. You can't change what happened, but it's just annoying. It's unlucky, man. It's just unlucky, guys. I don't have an issue with people who have an issue with Onana. For me, Onana hasn't really done much wrong in his last two games, and yet I'm hearing people online talk about Onana. I'm like, listen, this guy has not done nothing wrong. Are there better goalkeepers in the world? Probably, but he's not the worst goalkeeper, and there are worse goalkeepers like Raya for Arsenal that no one wants to talk about. So personally, me, I've got no big issues with Onana. Onana made some mistakes when he joined, yes, and there are still some things he does that are a bit that are off key. Like the way he dives sometimes, his speed at going to ground and diving for me is not the quickest. But I've got no issues with Onana. Like us losing games, like he'll win us more games than he loses. Basically, Onana will definitely win us more games than he loses, and that's all you want from a goalkeeper. How many games has he lost us? He's lost us 4 or 5 games. I don't know, two games in the Champions League, 2 games in the league, and another game in another cup. He might have lost us 5 games. How many games has he made us win or rescued? Many, many more. So as long as this guy, especially towards the end of the season, Onana was making crazy saves and keeping us in many games where we probably should have lost. So I've got time for Onana. I'm not one of those guys who hate Onana and want Onana to be sold or want a better goalkeeper, because I don't. Onana is not a big problem for me. He really isn't. Like, if you're playing good football, if you're keeping the ball, if you're a good footballing team, your goalkeeper might not even see that much action. And where I want to be in a position where Onana received the more shots than any other goalkeeper last season. There were more shots against Onana than any other goalkeeper last season. So if you're facing 100 times more shots than everyone else, you're going to concede more shots and more goals. You're going to make more mistakes. All of these things, it's just not common sense. So I want to get in a position where he doesn't face that many shots, where it's just about him really distributing the ball from the back four. Wow, Scott McTominay is playing. So Scott McTominay is coming on for Bruno Fernandes. This manager in one game has taken off Rashford and he has taken off Bruno. Listen, Bruno must be injured. Bruno must be injured. There's no way I'm seeing in this game of football, this sport that we love, that some of you call soccer. There's no way, yeah, I'm seeing Mount, Bruno, and Rashford all get taken off in one game. All right, cool. Yeah, all right, cool, cool. See, this is what I'm trying to say. Some of these sort of things I see fills me with hope. But at the same time, the fact that we don't have Sancho, even in the squad, makes me feel like 2 foot, 1 foot forward and 2 steps back. Like the fact that this manager is not afraid to take off Rashford and Bruno to win the game is a breath of fresh air. It makes me feel like aliens have infected his brain, and this is not the real manager. This is a fake manager. Like there's a little alien in his head controlling him now. Like this is not real Ten Hag. This is Nine Hag. Like it must be, because this is crazy. It doesn't mean Man United are going to win the game, by the way. It just means that he found some balls somewhere. He found some balls and he strapped them on. AMAD, why you offside, bro? AMAD, unlucky. So we're finishing the game. We're finishing the game with a whole different front four than how we started the game. We started the game with Rashford, AMAD, Bruno, and Mason Mount, and we're finishing the game with Garnacho, McTominay, Zirkzee, and AMAD. So listen, just keep an eye. I love this. Keep an eye on the celebration. Keep an eye on the celebration. I don't need to keep an eye on the celebration so you can tell me that his mum died. The PR is beautiful. The PR is beautiful, Lillian. I just bragged about Onana and how good he was. That was very. I'm not gonna lie, Onana. You shouldn't have passed the ball to Martinez right there, or was it Dallo? He's way too close to you, and the attacker's way too close. Yeah, Lissandro. That's also Lissandro's fault as well. To be fair, look at Zirkzee offside. Yeah, the pressing isn't there like it was in the first half. That's one thing that's for sure. Looks like this game might end in a draw. Yeah. I mean, Zirkzee couldn't get out of the way, like he said. He was clearly making that, which it's annoying because I'm like, I wish a Garnacho shot was better. See that what we just saw there from Garnacho, running and running, running, crossing the ball, and the cross being blocked. That's what United fans like. Even though nothing came from it, and a Sancho might not have done that. A Sancho might have cut it back and passed the ball back to keep the ball, while Garnacho wants to run at two people to get a crossing. There's two different ways of seeing football. No, no, I'm not going to give the ball away that by doing that. I'm going to keep the ball, and I might lose the ball, but I'm going to try it anyway, and I'm going to put a crossing. Like, there's two different ways of seeing life. There's people who calculate things in their head and weigh up the calculations, right? Using their football IQ. And there's people who, in my opinion, are quantity people who do the same thing over and over and over again. And out of the 100 times that they do it, one of the times it will be successful and it will lead to a goal. Whereas there is somebody who won't do it 100 times. They know that it will only work one time. And therefore, they will choose that time very wisely. So they'll do it 10 times. It will be successful one of the times, right? As opposed to somebody who will try 100 times and it's only successful one of the times. But because that person has tried it 100 times, to you and to your brain, they're doing more than the person that's only tried it 10 times. Wow, garnacho, that's poor. And these are called the guys who try 100 times, the Brunos, the Garnachos, the Rashfords. They're what I call volume players. Players that don't have the IQ to know when the pass is on and when the pass isn't on. And will attempt to pass all the time, constantly, until it's successful. Whereas someone else will see that the pass isn't on, retain possession, pass the ball back, but because that's not sexy, the crowd will moan and the crowd will be like, "Oh, you didn't try to make the pass." No, because the pass wasn't on. Anyway, there we go. Brighton, 3 minutes to go. It's not good. All right, let's see what we can do. Last 3 minutes of the game. Yeah. These are sort of games you wish you had someone like Sancho. Whether you rate him or not, having him as an option is never a bad thing. How can having someone as an option be a bad thing? Hmm. Martinez ready to fight a man. Look at him. He's going to fight. Look at him kicking. Look at Martinez kicking out and stuff. This guy, man. I know this guy was singing in the bus with Enzo. I know Martinez and Garnacho were singing them racist songs, bro. They were, man. They were. That's why I like Leacher, but I can't fully trust him. I can't fully trust these guys. All right. But I think Brighton are happy with the 1-1. They're making all these changes. They're just wasting time, I think. There's at least 3 changes being made for Brighton right now, with like literally 30 seconds left on the clock. Now Anthony's coming on for flipping. Is he coming on for AMAD? Yeah, Anthony's now coming on for AMAD. Shush, commentator, man. Yeah, but no one's asking you for your opinion on that matter, bruv. Ah, So we got 7 minutes added on. So what's Anthony gonna do? Score a goal? Is Anthony gonna top bins? Ah, it's given away by Cass. Ah, what's McTominay? Smot-Tominay. Might as well call him Smot-Tominay. You might as well. Smot-Tominay. What's he doing, bruv? Smot-Tominay. Uh, Mazraoui. The last 6 minutes has got messy. I don't think anyone's gonna score. This hasn't been the most enjoyable game to watch. I'm not gonna lie. The football that's on display hasn't been the greatest. One thing I wanted to see from this United side, especially this season, given the atrocious football, in my opinion, that was being played last season, resulting in us finishing 8th. I wanted to see some good football, some good passages of play. And can you imagine bringing on Scott McTominay to play number 10 for Manchester United when you have Jadon Sancho? You can't tell me, guys, that Scott McTominay is a better number 10 than Jadon Sancho. For what a number 10 is supposed to be. Someone who can dribble with the ball, someone who can pass with the ball, someone who can shoot, someone who can manipulate the football. All, like the Messis and Neymars and Ronaldinhos, all the best number 10s in the world. You can't tell me that you'd rather choose Scott McTominay to come on as a number 10 over someone like Sancho. Like the idea that Sancho, like I said, is not even an option on the bench right now. Oh! Oh, that was close. And Caesar. I, uh, it's getting stretched now. The game's getting stretched. Delete. Delete took out Mazraoui. Oh, we got signed together. Sorry, I didn't know. I didn't notice you were there. Oh yeah, I saw you in the press office when we got signed. We took pictures together. Sorry, I didn't. Oh, you wearing a red top. Oh, sorry, I didn't notice. There you go. There you go. There you go. Oh man, no. You are kidding me. Oh my lord. You're kidding me. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, nobody was back far post defending. Where's the defenders? Where's the left back? Oh, Dallow's right there. That's why. Because Dallo is where Mazraoui is. Dallo and Mazraoui on the same side. Because if Dallo was on his original side, Dallo would be in that position. Is the idea? Fact is, when the corner is taken, Dallo and Mazraoui end up on the same side, which means when the ball is eventually clipped in by Brighton, there's nobody in the left back position because Dallo and Mazraoui are both in the right back position. Yeah, man, that's it, guys. That is the winner. That is the winner. Pedro had a decent game today. It doesn't matter how many players we buy. It really doesn't. If the manager is the manager and he's going to set us up the way he sets us up, if the football we play is going to be the football that we play, I don't understand what people keep expecting. I don't understand like how we've seen this manager play Brighton, play Burnley's last season with better players than Burnley, with better players than Brighton, and still not play better football than them. There's one thing that is very, very clear with Ten Hag over the last 2 seasons that we can't say that we haven't seen it. And there's one thing that's clear with Ten Hag that he doesn't play exciting football. Whether it's him coming out saying he can't play Ajax ball, whether it's him coming out saying he wants to play transition football only, whatever it might be, it's very clear that Ten Hag can't really play attractive, effective football. Like, he cannot do it. Like, yeah, it's really, really disappointing. That's it. All hand up in the house. I did say it's going to be a difficult game for United. Yeah, you did. You did, my friend. You did. You did. And it was a difficult game. And the game has ended. It is Brighton 2, Manchester United 1. The game has ended. A disappointing game from a Manchester United perspective. Brighton's game plan was spot on. Do you know what, guys? Brighton did not need to even play that well today. This wasn't a De Zerbi Brighton team that was bopping the ball, that were playing Man United off the park. It wasn't that sort of team. It was a team that was well organised, well drilled, yes, but it was also a team that had their back line, had their defenders often near the halfway line. And given that this Man United team under Ten Hag is supposed to be a transition team, a team that's good on the transition, me thinking that this Brighton team will be a perfect team for a United team that plays on a transition, especially if Brighton play with a high line. We did not exploit that high line at all. And the reason why we did it is because we decided to play. One of the main reasons, anyway, there's multiple reasons. But we decided to once again start with Bruno and Mason Mount in the team. We turned up to Brighton today with no striker. No striker. No striker. Mount and Bruno cannot play together. I'm tired of seeing these two players. I know the manager wants to save face. He wants to be like, listen, I signed Mount, I signed Antony, I signed these players, and I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna force the narrative. I'm gonna force these guys into the team regardless. No, stop doing it. I don't care. Leave the Mason Mount. The Mason Mount thing is dead. The Mason Mount things, it's okay to make mistakes. You made a mistake. You signed this player for £55 million, even though you could have signed him for free this year because he only had 1 year on his contract. He's been disappointing. There's his profile of player that he is, in my opinion, does not even suit Man United. Isn't even conducive to the football club because what's he good at? What's he really good at, Mason Mount? On the ball. A lot of people will talk about his off the ball attributes. What does that mean? Off the ball and running and closing down and all these things. What are you talking about? What does he do on the ball that's really good? Like, I'm tired of hearing this manager and seeing this manager construct a team that's all about strength and pace and power and being off the ball pressing. How about you build a team that's good on the ball? Because the more you keep the ball, the more likely it is that you will not concede a goal because you have the ball. You have the ball. So you keep the ball for longer, you're less likely to concede. It's just common sense. It's a Man City model. It's a Arsenal model. Arsenal, Man City don't give away possession. They keep the ball. They rather play a more technical game. The system that Arsenal and Man City play, it's a very thorough, cohesive system. This manager wants to rely on individual players to and individual wingers to beat their man, to stand their man up. And listen, Foden and Grealish and these men are not always beating their man. Doku, you could argue, might be. But a lot of these times, these men are not beating their man. They're doing combination plays. The wingers are doing they're doing their triangles. The fullbacks are overlapping their wingers and being put through by the wingers, and the wingers are making decoy runs. A lot of the times, it's just combination plays that make you beat your man rather than one-on-one solo dribbles. Like, at the end of the day, this manager will always be this team's Achilles heel. You can give this manager Ugarte and Sancho's. You can give him Mazararis and Delits. You can give him Zirkzees. But this manager and the way he sees football is the way he sees football. And we're still going to be beaten by teams that have less good players, that don't have as good players than us. We're going to be beaten by those teams still. Because everything will always lead to the dugout. You can have all the nice equipment in your house. You can have 100 TVs. You can have an 80-inch TV with all the... If you don't have any electricity, you're not going to be able to use any of these things. I'm telling you. You can go on your bike all you want to generate electricity. It won't be enough for all the equipment that you need to use. It won't be. Like, so you can give this manager all you want. This manager has spent about 500 million, 600 million now in just under 2 seasons. Signed about 16 players now. 11 players in his first two years. He signed about 3 or 4 this season. This manager signed about 15, 16 players now. And still, this is the football. Still, this is the football that we get, and yet we'll have loads of fans who'll be backing him still. This is not good enough. What we saw today is not good enough. We probably should have won the game. Zirkzee, unfortunately, got in the way. That's not his fault. Rashford was poor today. Poor today. The idea that Sancho can't get into this squad and Rashford keeps playing the way that he plays. And the thing is, this is nothing new. These guys have seen Rashford play this way for 2 years. These guys saw Rashford play this way last year. They're fully aware of what Rashford does, what Rashford usually does on a consistent basis. They see him in training. So this is nothing new for them. We're starting the season, apart from AMAD, we're starting the season with the same front four that ended the season. Bruno, Rashford, Garnacho coming off the bench, I guess. Mount, Mount in and out of the team last season. The same personnel, a lot of the same team that made us finish 8th. We're starting with them. Why not start with the other players? Why not start with AMAD and start with Zirkzee? Why not? Why get rid of Sancho? We didn't see him play last season. We could have done with him, and now this season you won't play him. You won't guarantee him a spot. You're telling the press about, you have to earn your way and earn this as usual, earn and earn and earn. Yet Rashford plays shit every week and he plays. I'm happy that he took Mount off at halftime. That was a good thing. He took Bruno off around 80 minutes. That was surprising. And he took Rashford off, which is all very, very surprising because we've seen what this manager's about. We've seen that he has favourites. We know he has favourites. So the fact that he's done that, good. But you gotta start building a team now, Ten Hag. If you don't know your best players, if you don't know what type of football you want to play by now, if you're not trying to construct a cohesive, a distinctive style of play, that's what I want to see now in the third season. A cohesive style of play rather than running around like headless chickens. That's what I want to see, and I don't think I'm going to see that. I don't think so. If this manager makes it past Christmas, I'll be very surprised. I will be very surprised. Mason Mount. Mason Mount taken off at half time, wearing the number 7 shirt. He's stealing a living. And yet, Sancho's the one that should be taken off. Sancho's the one that doesn't start. Sancho's the one that's leaving the club. And yet, we have all of these players. All of these players. All of these players that are playing shit. And yet, certain players get sold and certain players can't make it into the team. I don't even like Bruno. But taking Bruno off for McTominay is wild. Is wild. Like, it's wild. Especially McTominay is a player, apparently, that Man United are about to sell. The press today was not a good press. A lot of people were talking about, oh, we press and pressing. Listen, this pressing thing is a new thing in football. Like 5 years ago, we never spoke about press. And it's these youngsters, these young guys who never played football before in their life. Not even in school, not even for your school football team. And only play FIFA. These guys are talking about pressing and press. Listen, you either press and you press well or you don't press. At this point, I'd rather United sit back and just retain their energy and then attack rather than do this pressing. Because as I pointed out during the match, there was a moment that Bruno left his number 10 position, left his midfield position, ran beyond Zirkzee, as he often does, running beyond the striker, pressed their goalkeeper. Like, when do you press the goalkeeper? You don't really press the goalkeeper. You press the defenders and the fullbacks, causing the goalkeeper to kick the ball out. Like, you don't need to press the goalkeeper. Whenever you press, think about it this way. There's 11 players against 11 players, right? 10 players in the outfield. So the 10 players in the outfield position are marking each other. The minute one of those players leave that player, the minute one of those players leave the player they're marking, that player is now free. So anytime you see Bruno Fernandes trying to chase down, trying to close down and press the goalkeeper, who is not an outfield player, understand there is an outfield player who is now free as a result of him. So whenever he does that, which is often, I always tell people this is not a good thing that he does. This running around like a headless chicken and this pressing randomly without there being a trigger or anything is not a good thing. A lot of fans want to be like, this is really good. He works hard for the team. He runs around. If you're running around and leaving empty spaces, right, and you're not running around effectively, it is a problem. It's not a good thing. It is not. And I need people to really understand that. Football is as deep, as complicated, as intellectual as you make it. Some people think footballs are simple, and it can be as simple as you see it, It can be as simple as you make it, and it can be as intricate and as complicated and as detailed as you make it, depending on how you want to play. We don't get on the ball and we're not controlling games. Like, we have people like Zirkzee, we have people like AMAD, Antony and Sancho, who are more possession based footballers. They want to connect with other footballers. They're not attackers who will get the ball, stand their man up, do a little step over, beat their man, run at 100 mph, whip a crossing. They can do that, but it's very hard for most wingers to do that because most fullbacks in the Premier League are very quick. You very rarely see that in any football match. So you need to play football. You need to have combination play. You need your wingers and your fullbacks to work together to open up spaces, opportunities, creating spaces by moving around, doing your overlaps, doing your underlaps. You need to do these things, and United are not even doing those things. Rashford is a big problem. Rashford has peaked already. I agree, guys. Let me read some of your comments. I still believe Ten Hag is not the right manager for Manchester United. Orhan in the house. I agree, Orhan. I agree. A lot of United fans were very optimistic. A lot of United fans are happy with the signings, are happy with the progress INEOS are making. But these signings are still being sanctioned by the manager. This manager still has veto. It's still, okay, there are these 4 players, Ten Hag. Which out of the 4 players do you want? And Ten Hag is still saying, I want this one. So Ten Hag is still given the go-ahead when it comes to Sancho's. And I don't trust this manager's talent ID. I don't trust this manager's talent ID. I really don't. I really don't. So the idea that this manager is bringing in all of these Ajax players now, bringing in the Lichts, bringing in the Matswaris, that Ajax players, bringing in the Onanas, Ajax players, bringing in the Antonys, Ajax players, bringing in the Zirkzee, Dutch player. Like, what we're seeing is this manager is still bringing in players that he knows rather than bringing in the best of the best. Like, I'm surprised we're still doing that. I'm still very surprised we're doing that. All I want Man United fans to do now is try your best to keep the same energy for all footballers. When you've seen something like this that we've just all witnessed from Rashford, he did nothing today. Just remember how bad he played and keep that same energy for people like Bruno, for people like Antony, for people like Sancho. Just keep the same energy for, like, Mason Mount didn't have a good game today. I'm looking back at their goal at the goal we conceded, right? And I'm like, what was Maguire doing? Why Maguire, yeah, failed to defend the front post twice. When the ball came in the first time, Maguire has to clear that ball. He has to get rid of that ball. He let it go across his body for some reason. I don't know why. There's no reason for him to do that. Unless he knew exactly what's behind him. Even if he knew exactly what's behind him, why don't you just clear the ball? There's no reason for him not to clear the ball. And when the ball came in for the second time for the actual goal, he was too scared. He didn't want to stick his foot out just in case he went in for an own goal. So Maguire was at fault for the first goal, but we are messed. We are effed. We are messed. We are a mess. We are a mess, guys. It's only the second game, but there's one thing about this channel, and there's one thing we're not going to do on this channel. We're not going to be surprised whenever we play rubbish, because we can watch the football game, watch the football match that we've just seen, analyze what we've seen, analyze what we saw the whole of last season, analyze what we've seen over the last 2 games, or should I say the first 2 games. Look at all these things in isolation, but also look at them in a context of a period of time. and see what this manager is doing, understand the difficulties the manager has, but also understand that this manager is not doing himself any justice. Also, have the ability to, even when we win, guys, even when we win, we can still analyze the game and see where we went wrong. And if you keep it 100, even when we win and we don't play well, just say that. Say what you see, not how you feel. So if we win a match and we played shit, say that we played shit. The fact of the matter is, there's a lot of fans who will totally forget the way we played, not even care how we played as long as we win. And therefore, when we do eventually lose, they'll be like, how do we lose this? Listen, we lost this game because this is how we play. There's too many fans out there who don't care about the way we play. The way we play is the most important thing. Winning or losing comes as a result of the way that we play. So what you see in the 90 minutes that you're watching football is the most important thing. It's more important than the goals, because the goals will come if you are playing good football. It's really that simple. So it is what it is, guys. We might be in trouble this season. We will see. I don't really have too much faith in the manager, especially with his treatment of some players. But there's one thing that's hopeful, is the fact that he's not afraid to make certain changes, and he made certain changes today at halftime. The question is, should he have started with the players he started in the first place? That's a question we have to ask. What do you guys think? Let me know. Please comment below. What do you think of the game? What did you guys think of the team that started the game? What did you think of the way we played first half, second half? What do you think of the subs the manager made and the timing of these subs? The way the manager wants to play football. How have you guys assessed it? How have you guys analysed what you've seen? The pressing, the issues with Mason Mount, Sancho. Is Rashford has been a problem for the last 4 years. And I've always said this. Once Manchester United stop thinking that Rashford is a world-class talent that needs to play every game on the left, once we upgrade on Rashford as a football club, we can move forward. He has captured this club like a black widow spider. Like, he plays every season. He does get dropped sometimes, but he's stopping players like Sancho getting played. Not him by himself, because the manager picks a team. But I think Rashford is now an issue for Manchester United Football Club. It has been, in my opinion, for a long time, but even more of an issue. We got to find a way of playing without him. We got to find a way of scoring goals collectively as a team. And the manager wants to play this isolation football. He wants to play the Brunos and Rashfords because they can score goals. He doesn't want to implement a style of play where the goals are spread out evenly amongst the teams. Because in order to implement that type of football, you need to be very, very tactical on the coaching pitch, which I don't think we are. But anyway, guys, let me know. Comment below. We lost the game, but we keep going, man. We're United fans, so we keep going, man. But disappointing. Very, very disappointing. But we move, guys. We move. Arsenal are playing today, so we'll see that game as well. Anyway, guys, hopefully you have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the bank holiday. And we will either reconvene next week, or we will be back for the Arsenal game later. We haven't decided yet. But anyway, peace out, guys. Bless up, man. Smash a like.